hey, hey, wake up. Hey, hey, wake up.
Welcome to In the Mind of a Pianist. We are now at 2,060 subscribers last I checked. This is just so much fun to watch this channel grow. Thank you so much to the new subscribers. I hope you will really enjoy this video and find it useful. Many people say that Papa Haydn wrote ugly music, so let's dispel this myth right away, shall we? Haydn was immediately recognized for his musical gifts, so his parents sent him away to study, and he was often embarrassed of his dirty clothes. He often went to bed hungry. So this notion that Haydn is a privileged white male is just not true. One main emphasis I would like to make in this video is that we should never merely hear the music, but instead we should listen actively, and we should compute what we are hearing and equip ourselves with the ability to know what it is. This takes time to build, but the entry point is not hard. Here is an example. One of the first items we will hear in this piece is a neighbor pattern. It is a musical concept, a neighbor pattern, meaning it sounds good and it's easy to recognize. A neighbor pattern is an excellent example of poetic simplicity. Many people think that snobbish classical music is needlessly complex, but the reality is composers strive to speak in the most pared down terms in order to reach the listener at a deep level. It can't be too simple or it wouldn't say anything at all. But once you understand the language of music, you see that the great master composers knew how to speak very directly. This is Franz Josef Haydn's Variations in F minor, which means we should expect 4 flats in the key signature, and we should expect many E naturals since that is our raised 7th scale degree, and that is our leading tone. Listen again to this neighbor pattern that opens the theme, and tell me if you can hear the concept of a neighbor pattern. Every time you play a neighbor pattern, you should be conscious of it, and often we give more attention to the neighbor note. Or in this case, it is 2 neighbor notes. Another concept we need to be aware of here is that this is a tonic chord going to a dominant chord and back. These terms have been explained in my video on how to memorize. In the key of F minor, what is the tonic and what is the dominant chord we are expecting? If you said F minor is the tonic and C major is the dominant, you are correct. Whenever you have a tonic and dominant relationship, there is always a leading tone present. Which note is the leading tone in this example? If you said E, you are correct. As you practice and train your ear, actively notice the sound and function of the leading tone. This will help you to truly know the music and to play it with more expression. This crucial step is only the beginning, and the road to artistry begins with understanding how to listen and also how to know what you are hearing. Let's move to the next part. Who can tell me what the left-hand accompaniment does next? To an untrained ear, this could sound like a new chord, but is it a new chord? It is not. It is an inversion of the tonic. You could think of it like Papa Haydn is outlining the tonic harmony. You could notice that it is climbing, but that it is the same harmony again. This means that unlike the neighbor pattern we just heard, none of the pitches are changing or moving to other pitches in the same way. The neighbor pattern has more gravity because of the half steps, while the inversion is light, decompressed, and should have a lifted sound. One solution is that you can feel physically light as you play this inversion, like a painter painting with more airy brush strokes. So far we have had 2 chords. What happens in the right hand at this point? We have a tonic triad descending. So C down to A flat down to F. And generally when you have a descending triad, you want to play softer as you go. Next, Haydn is heading to the 4 chord, also called the subdominant chord. In this key of F minor, what is the 4 chord, and is it major or minor? If you said B flat minor, you are correct. Okay, so far in measure 1 we had the neighbor pattern in the left hand. In measure 2 the left hand came up an inversion. The right hand you have a descending triad. In measure 3 we're headed to B flat minor. So we go through G half diminished 7, up a step to F7, up a step to B flat minor. This is our target. What happens next in measure 5 is we're going to have a series of chords beginning with C7. The G here is a non-chord tone going to F, which is the chord tone. The E flat is a non-chord tone going to a chord tone. The C is a non-chord tone going to a chord tone. So we have 3 appoggiaturas in a row, and what you want to do is to not play these notes equally. There's a concept in music called note inégale, and the idea is that some of the notes should receive a bit more time and a bit more pressure. And this is a highly musical way to play a series of 16th notes like this. Let's see what it sounds like. Now we get to one spot where I couldn't figure out the harmonic analysis, and I have several ideas, and I don't know which one, if any, are right. But that brings me to an extremely important point, which is when you are studying music, there is bound to be a spot that you simply can't figure out. But if you can figure out and make sense of 95% of the notes, you are in good shape. As human beings, we want so badly to finish something and to let it be complete. But life is not always like that. And learning music is a process that is never really finished per se. It's kind of like the question of, is there a God or not? We can't really know that for sure. So I don't think it's a good idea to waste too much energy, especially worrying about it. I mean, it's very fun to think about this question, and it's a very good thought exercise. But we don't want to let it overwhelm us and distract us from making progress on things that are possible to make progress on. When my students are learning about chords, I tell them just learn the easy chords first. Learn your major triads, then add minor, then add diminished and augmented, some 7th chords, and at that point you are in pretty good shape. Then as you go, you can gradually add more and more sophisticated concepts. Here we have a voice exchange. The left hand has a C, it's going to change to D flat, and in the right hand you have this D flat changing to C. So we can hear that cross and that exchange of voices. Now, this is rather rare because Normally, when you have a voice exchange, it's the interval of a third. So, for example, D flat might trade places with F, and that would sound like this. But listen to this interesting voice exchange, D flat and C. We ended that first section in A flat major, which is the relative of F minor. A flat major also has 4 flats in the key signature. The second section begins with A flat major, and we are going to modulate first to C major, which is the dominant of our home key of F minor. So that is the path you want to follow with your ear. In measure 13, this is where we began in A flat major. We have an A flat major chord, E flat minor, and then we're going to have F7, which is the dominant of B flat major, then E flat 7, which is the dominant of A flat major, then C7, which is the dominant of F minor. So you have 3 tonic and dominant patterns in a row. Then we have a diminished 7, diminished 7, resolve on C major. Something interesting to listen for here is that Haydn has you cross your right hand over and play in a low register. This causes me to think of the Ogier from Wheel of Time for a few reasons, because of the register of these notes, but also the jovial nature of that figure. If you play lightly in this low range, you might sound like the Ogier.
I didn't even hear you come in.
Stay back!
Oh dear, you humans are very excitable. My first day in Tarvalon, I could not believe the uproar. Children cried, women screamed, and a mob chased me all the way across the city waving knives. I'm afraid I was almost beginning to get a little upset.
How fun it has been to delve into this beautiful composition with you. Do you find this helped you understand how to listen to this piece and how to make sense of the sounds? I hope to see you again in our next video. Goodbye.
Not some use, I'm just a string.